Bingim biggity bingim bingim bingy bingim bingy ding bitty bitty bingim biggity bingim bingim bingy bing. Hello everyone. This is the CM Kozeman spontaneous test stream, which may end up destroying itself because I'm actually trying to test with the dinky laptop and microphone setup I got at home. You can see the amazing CM Kozeman library behind me. It's the Library of Alexandria in my part of the world. Everything about history, paleontology, Mediterranean history. Well, we already have something in. Okay. Something is happening. Yes. The CM Kozeman Secret Gumby Spontaneous Dinosaur stream is on. Well, I have a home setup, but it's a little dinky laptop. And I'm trying to adopt it to basically live streaming so that I don't have to deal with going to underground bunker connection places no more. And it's really, really heating up fast, but we at CM Kozeman Town have the best tech solutions for all these tech emergencies. What I have is this pan loaded with some block of ice. I just pop this bad boy behind my laptop, and my laptop, being made out of metal, just cools it down. Cool down, bitch. That sort of thing. Okay, so thank you. I got 14 people weaving. And my co-host from the Talk Hour, TJ Sugin, is here saying, I am the best cam girl. Well, and then the questions are pouring in. Hello, Fernando Katekaiks. Hello, Scalop Flex. Hello, Jack Potts. Hi, Milan. I'm blessed to have the best named followers on the entire internet. Well, you can see some of the Kozeman verse behind me. These are just all the books that I grew up reading. And already the questions are coming up. I mean, I guess we can talk about dinosaurs today. Who knows? They're obviously always a. Oh my God, someone has one of my dinosaur paintings. I'm so happy. Thank you. And wow, we're 15 people are online. That's quite a lot. Another question from YouTube, Joseph WM. Okay, no problem, man. You can send me your All Tomorrow's fan art anytime. Of course, as a rule, I am writing All Tomorrow's Redux, and I cannot answer any questions about All Tomorrow's at the moment. So I hope you take it. Yeah, I hope you understand it when I am unresponsive to your questions. Okay, more news from the CM Kozeman verse. I've used your Patreon donations and acquired this. A Sony 4K X3000 action cam. How amazing is this shit right here? Just look at it. Dead realistic. Unbelievable. Now, with it, I hope to tour other parts of Turkey and wherever I'm lucky to travel these next few years. And I hope to create high quality, good expedition content for you. And this is a really nice camera. I forked out quite a bit for it. I bought it secondhand, but still. And it was your Patreon donations that made this possible. So thank you all so much. Good afternoon, Stash Vermaulen. Hello, Diloraptor. Hello, Bubble Man. Hello, David Garuti. Hello, Pretzel. Gumby. Okay, Gumby is just one of the made up words I use, like Gimby or Chunky or MBUing. Basically, it means anybody who's like kind of clueless, fat, and cute looking. I don't know. The ghetto cooling setup. It's actually amazingly effective. Like my computer its fan was going like OnlyFans, but now it's just quiet, as dead as a mouse or something like that. Yes, I did not make up the word chunky. Another question from Milan Milan. Is Turkey good for your creativity? It's actually very good. I would rather, of course, I mean, I am generalizing from a sample size of one, but I would not want to be born or like to live in any other part of the world. Of course, I would like to travel to other parts of the world, maybe work there for some time, but on the whole, I am thankful for where I am living. I mean, Turkey, more ancient Greek sites than Greece, and more ancient Roman sites than Rome itself or Italy itself. A historical wonderland, actually a biodiversity wonderland as well. So it's a great, great place. Thought I was talking about the claymation character and had a story. Oh, Gumby, yeah, that one. That old British. Yeah, there was actually. So I did not create the word Gumby either. David Garuti said Italian noises. Well, be happy you take better care of your Roman ruins than we do over here. So misery loves company in different forms. Silasaurus, hello, Mr. Kozaman, hello. A question from Manospondylus. Who is better, King Kong or Donkey Kong? Well, Donkey Kong's got the better tunes, and it's got this weird, soulless 3D slash 2D animation. Whereas King Kong has, even though it's kind of wonky, it's got the most spiritually moving animation, stop motion animation. Like the first King Kong film had some, like, was revolutionary. But I guess also the King Kong wins by default because it coined the word Kong and Donkey Kong. So there. Well, the real reason I'm online now is we had some work related all nighter situations up here at Kozemen town. So both me and my wife were busy working late. So I said, why not? I am allowed to exist another day. Thank you. Okay, so let's have your questions. Prehistoric animals. I call this the Gumbayun Dinosaur podcast. So at least let's pretend to go by the rules. And, if I get good questions, I may actually display some of the interesting dinosaur books I have back there. So, yeah. David Garuti asks thoughts on Godzilla. A really nice film, a really nice series of films. Like any other series, the Japanese do a great and incomparable work with. They really love their creations. They really like, even if they're like from Western eyes, not very serious creatures. They really love them. Lots of effort goes into them. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of like who would beat who. I mean, everyone, when thinking about Godzilla, thinks about the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and sure, the references there are there, but also they're quite similar to sumo wrestling. Like you watch all these creatures, and like almost certain you expect to root for a winner at a match or something like that. Jakub Bobrovics, a longtime really good friend, asks, "Do you have any fringe ideas or pet theories about dinosaur life appearance?" Yes, a lot. I mean, for example, I think that some sauropods may have been partially aquatic. And because of all of these bullshit theories, like they were too big to walk and land on whatever, it's kind of become anathema to display a sauropod in water these days. But I would bet like certain sauropods, those big long necks, certain sauropods probably were like hippos today. I mean, they were land animals, they were like erect gated, and yet they could walk and run on land if they wanted to. But some of them may have just spent a lot of time just lounging about on riverbeds, lakes, whatever. It doesn't make them necessarily aquatic. Like, so they were not too big to walk, but they probably enjoyed a lot of water, some species. More questions, more questions. Just have to check something domestic for 1 second. Be right back. All right. La la la. Joseph WM asks, I have plans for my YouTube channel for the holiday season. Home Alone parody. Hanukkah themed Home Alone parody where the Kuhanim from All Tomorrows are the burglars. Happy Hanukkah, but this is a very, very eccentric subject. Best of luck. I mean, you have my blessings. Hope you get to make it. Thomas Strimpel asks, hello, Senor Kozeman. Could there be bizarre things in the deep past in which in which could have existed in the Mesozoic, but we may never know about? Almost certainly, I'm betting on maybe at least one or two species of small animals with some sort of language. Not language in terms of like letters, whatever, but something like the extremely complicated languages of whales or mina birds or crows or certain parrots. Fernando Katekaix asks, do you think predatory animals cry over the prey they hunt? Does a lion cry that it has to eat another living creature? I don't know, but recently, prompted by my friend TK Sivgin's recommendation, I saw Midnight Mass. It's a vampire movie, a vampire TV series, a really great one too. And there, some dude is afflicted with vampirism, and he's a community leader, a kind of priest or something, but he has the craving for blood. And he unwittingly has to kill someone and drink his blood, and he cries and he goes through a lot of trauma. So for predators, there could be like an entire quasi-religious or traumatic feeling associated with killing and eating another animal. But then again, maybe they just don't care. Usually, like we even see this with people in hunter-gatherer societies, that not only, of course, they care for the spirits of the animals they kill sometimes, but killing is just a very natural act. Bish bash bosh, it's done with. And I mean, to our eyes, this can seem extremely ruthless. Tribal people also kill other tribal people if they venture too deep into their territory. So I don't know. There's a personal feeling, but it could also be a brisk feeling. So I don't know. I am very certain though that nowhere in nature, today or in the past, nowhere in nature is there something like this Cartesian view that, an animal is a machine, it's an automaton. We don't know if they have feelings. We need proof. How can you prove you're not a bad? This is like one of the most perverted, evil, and destructive philosophies. It's kind of divorced people from empathy, and it's like one of the top sins out there of the last 10,000 years. Who knows? I don't say that carnivores feel guilty for killing their prey, but I mean, for carnivorous animals, sometimes they're really like bloody and gory and messy too. But like cats are really sadistic. All predatory animals are really sadistic. So animals have their own style of divorce from empathy that's different from this Cartesian logic that I just described. But hello, smart All Tomorrows fan. My day has been great. Thank you so much. It's been a nice Sunday. Here's a pet adopt or eat question with three different animals. A capybara, of course, it's the friendliest animal. Hippo or water buffalo. Both of them are extremely deadly animals. I would still pet the water buffalo because maybe I could use it to work on my farm, and maybe eat the hippo because I don't know, what does hippo meat taste like? Matilda Duff Hello says, A small raptor dinosaurs that's able to mimic human sounds would be terrifying if depicted in film. I wholeheartedly agree. Not only a small raptor dinosaur, but maybe a giant raptor dinosaur too. Heck, they recently took videos of leopards in the mountains of in the Taurus Mountains up in southern Turkey, and I've gone trekking in these parts of the country, and I just look at those pictures and just imagining, because these are really like lonely places, like you could do anything. There's no one around for miles, and then the whole idea of coming face to face with a leopard is just a pants shittingly scary experience. Now, in medieval times, there were medieval bestiaries, and in a lot of those bestiaries, they talked about the leopard being able to mimic human speech. Of course, in African leopards, we don't have any evidence of that. But then maybe the Anatolian leopard, which has been extirpated from large parts of its range, maybe that could do a little human imitation. If you have a pet cat, you've probably seen the cat going when it looks at birds. And I could imagine a leopard looking at a human it's about to kill, and it's going, and it's a really scary idea. I mean, like, I, in a deep, dark part of my heart, I feel kind of lucky that there are no leopards running around in my part of the world. I'm still glad they're not totally extinct, but they're extremely scary animals. I mean, and then imagine not only the raptor dinosaurs, but perhaps the tyrannosaurs could also be, or like some of those medium grade predatory dinosaurs. You know, those predatory dinosaurs that no one cares about, but are actually like the scariest animals because they're the size of a horse or something. So those dinosaurs, like, they probably had some nice vocal range of communication as well. And then you have something like one of those reptile grade giant predators, giant for a person. I mean, its head stands as tall as a human, and it goes and just scary. Sound designers, there's an assignment waiting for you. Marcus Jochum says leopard lore also sounds like the mythical manticore being able to speak. Yes. Who knows which feverish imagination dreamt up the manticore? It's the best mythical animal because it's just a scorpion-tailed, human-faced, just beautiful. Everyone sleeps on Marshallsaurus until it says Alan, like in Jurassic Park 3. I really wish manticores were a thing, though. Who knows? Maybe in the future. I mean, I could really see a kind of predatory ape evolving into some sort of convergent shapes with cats, because, as you know from mammal evolution, cats are kind of inevitable. So there. Where this idea for the scorpion sting came from, who knows? Okay, let's have a roll call. Which part of the world are you calling from? Please let me know in the comments, and I'll do a whole represent kind of solidarity action. All right, where are you from the world? Come on, let me know in the chat. Fernando, the US, America represent. Yes, which state? American Midwest, best part of the states, as far as I'm concerned. Kentucky represent, really nice city. These middle to small American cities are like the best places on earth for anybody to inhabit in terms of like material comfort, but also socially too. The big cities, they're just toast, but small cities like Kentucky, Indianapolis, maybe Philadelphia, Santa Fe, Albuquerque, I love those places. Next to Turkey, I wish I was born in one of them. All right, where else? Canada, British Columbia, represent. Maryland, represent. I got a lot of American viewers. I'm so proud of you all. I'm from Brazil, says Okara Kuho Nome Comecha Comsas. This is Brazil. So thank you. Michigan, represent Pacific Northwest. Off. Man, you're in the best part. My wife and I, my wife who's really busy in the other room now, so I shouldn't shout so much, saying things like Brazil. Anyways, the Pacific South, unbelievable. We took a drive back in 2016, just when Trump was about to get elected. We took a drive from Seattle down to San Francisco on the old 101 highway. Now I cannot imagine how we could afford that. Back in the day we could, but now just exchange rates are so fucked up and the cost of living is so fucked up that it's just a pleasant dream. All right, where else? Where else? Bavaria, represent. Nice part of Germany. Okay, which Michigan, Emilia Romagna, that's Italy, I guess. Yes. OC, California. The TV series is still scorched in my head. It's the part of America where Seth Cohen lives. And that Marissa, whatever. All right, where else? Where else do we have? Lazio from Italy. Nice. Long Island, not okay. But thank you so much, New York State. I studied there in Cornell University back in the day. Dallas, Texas. Wow. Okay. Okay. So Kentucky is a state, not a city. I always have it confused with Kansas City in my late night adult mind. So yeah, there. That's really embarrassing. I'm living in Kocaeli. That's great, cauliflower. I was actually in Izmit a couple of weeks ago, and I filmed a little travel adventure, and I'm just editing that, so you'll see it on my channel soon, I hope. Where else? Where else? Mediterranean supremacy. Marty Gallagher lives in Message Retracted. Maybe he didn't want to dox himself. Rhode Island represent. Smallest US state, yes. And you got a nice art school up there. Rain frogs are very good. There's I hate everyone frogs, aren't they? It's pure hatred, pure spite in those bored looking faces. Mediterranean supremacy. Well, I guess I'm so blessed to have. I mean, there's 22 of us here, so that's not enormous numbers, but all these people from all over the world, that's really nice. You know, I grew up in a kind of local part of the world, obviously, Turkey, Istanbul, Ankara. And it feels so good to reach out to everyone else there. Oh, Diloraptor, you study at RSID. I only have kind words for it. It was one of my dream schools. Then I got accepted to the Ivy League one. Then I studied there for 2 years, got homesick, came the fuck back, graduated from a equivalent of an American university in Istanbul, but never looked back. I don't know. I'm doing whatever I wanted, so never regretted that return. Ankara, Marcus Jochum says Ankara is quite a big city. Turkey, Turkey has states or provinces. Turkey also has a providence, I hope. I guess, I don't know, I counted so far maybe 7 or 8 different countries. Okay, let's do another roll call. Like, are you a student or have you finished college? What have you studied? What are you studying? Let's query that. Ilyas Lebleu asks, is there a rivalry between Ankara and Istanbul? How can there be a rivalry between Ankara and that cesspool they call Istanbul? Istanbul is like 7 or 8 small cities just squashed together, and then they all had a Limp Bizkit game on it, and it's full of rubes and schemers and skinflints and cutthroats. I really dislike it here. I mean, we dream of living in Ankara. All right, now we got the other questions. A game design student. Wow. Anthropology graduate. Hoping to study ecology and evolution. Biology teacher in training. Thank you, biology student. Zoology. Wow. Laser focus on the creative and the scientific endeavors of human activity. What do I call a frog that's on a budget? Could that be a budget frog? The one that looks like this. I love those things. Oh, by the way, let me introduce you to my pets. We got some pets in here in Kozemen town. Writing software for. I'm so happy. I hope none of you fall into this Kozemen YouTube rabbit hole. Just go out there, be happy, do your thing. Ankara is 5 million people, yes, but it's small compared to the 18 million plus. I guess there's 2 more million undocumented people here. It's a really crowded city in Istanbul, and you really cannot trust anybody. And that's the big cities with every country, but it's like Los Angeles in American terms. So everybody who's got a scheme, everybody who's a climber, everybody who's like all the assholes are moving to Istanbul. So Ankara, because it's a government capital, so lots of bureaucrats, lots of academic types, and people are far kinder. Like if you're in Istanbul and you ask the cab, like I'm bleeding out of my arm, can you take me to this place that's 2 miles away? They would like. I'm only joking, but I have actually been like almost attacked by a cab driver because I wanted them to take me to a close location and insist on it. The last one, he majored in philosophy, he or she. Wow, that's the best. That's the best major. Most beautiful place I visited in Turkey. Pets are coming first. Then I'll tell you the best place. Okay. So these snail boys right here. Hmm. In this tank right here, can't really show them. Ah, here you can see them now. I'm keeping some. I'm keeping some of those pest snails you have in aquarium shops because they just they eat everything. As long as you have clean water, they reproduce, they hang around, and they're generally actually really fun to watch. And you don't need an aquarium system, you don't need electricity, filters, heaters, nothing. I used to have a lot of other pets when I was growing up, but the older you get, the worse it hurts when you lose an animal. So, I mean, even when these guys die, and they do die sometimes, because there's like a dozen of them in there. They only started with two, then they reproduced, then some of the babies died, and even that feels awful. Gastropod boys, my snail army. Yes, look at these bad boys. I'll show you. Oh, here. Anyone else? All those things are eggs, by the way. You see those cum stain kind of things here? They're their eggs, but if they lay them on the glass, the others come up and eat them. So I have a little petri dish below with some sand in it. So the eggs they lay there, they're viable. But yeah. Other than that, it's all eggy. I also have some plants, but yeah. So the plants are the new pets. Pets are the new kids, and well, I can only feel pity for people who have kids in this day and age with the cost of living and everything. But of course, you have my respect. Oh, this is also a thing. Okay, I'll be right back. What's your favorite dinosaur? Okay, let's do. What is your favorite theropod dinosaur? Let's get this question first, and I'll comment on it. Then we'll do ornithopods and sauropods and all the rest. Oh. Okay, we got some fave theropods coming. Let's do. We got Microraptor, the four-winged. Isn't it crazy? David Peters, the renegade researcher, thinks that Microraptor was the first tyrannosaur. And he believes that tyrannosaurs evolved out of Microraptoriforms. And to this, he gives the evidence of the animal having like something of a boxy skull. I don't know. Dinocairus, that's a now awesome animal. Camel bird. It's funny. I'll back in the day there was this amazing speculative evolution project called the Spec World project, and they had this whole selection of pterosaurs, and one of them exactly looked like what we think Dinocairus looks like now. So good example of art imitating life. Dakota raptor, that's a nice one too. Allosaurus fragilis, off. I mean, that's a vanilla dinosaur, but it's the scariest. Those claws, what did they do? John Conway and I once, back in the sunlit days of the early 2000s, we met in Paris because we could afford to travel. Anyways, and then we talked about Allosaur arms. What exactly were they doing with those arms? Because the arms can barely reach the mouth if you look at the anatomy, but they got those wicked claws. So what were they doing? Were they using them to dig or like pin prey down or something? I don't know. Okay. We'll get lots of cam. Gigantoraptor. That's the huge oviraptor, isn't it? Best theropods are swifts, of course. Wow, Diloraptor, thank you so much. I'm getting some clout up there in Rhode Island, in the Rhode Island School of Design, and I thank you for bringing them up there. If any of your classes want to feature me as a Zoom guest lecturer or guest talker, I'm game. I have lectured about art and my artistic practice for numerous times in numerous universities in Turkey. So I'd be happy to attend. And I have also paintings like this one, this bad boy back there. So we could talk about those. Compsognathus, that's a nice theropod too. Quite a weird one too, actually. Like back in the 90s, they all thought like it's the small basic theropod, but it's got these two fingers. What the heck exactly it was is unknown. Maybe it could have been the juvenile of something bigger. Halskaraptor, that's the duck dinosaur, isn't it? All right, let's get some favorite ornithopods now. Favorite ornithischians, not ornithopods. The bird-hipped dinosaurs that, weirdly enough, did not give rise to birds. By the way, I have the Titanosaurus. Well, that's not an ornithischian, but still. Lalinasaura, those are great. I used to think those small ornithischians or ornithopods, they were like basic deer dinosaurs that were only good for other dinosaurs to kill and eat. But now when I study their anatomies, they look like really like pugnacious, vicious. They could bite you. I mean, you wouldn't want to mess with one of them. That's what I'll say. Corythosaurus has been my favorite as well. Not my favorite, but one of my favorites. Like, when you get into dinosaurs, there's these like, so if someone likes Corythosaurus, then you could top them off by saying, yes, but I'm a Jaxartosaurus enjoyer, which is another similar dinosaur, but with a slightly different kind of crest. So all these ornithopods, there are ornithopods, and then There are commonly known ones, and there are bizarrely named ones that look quite similar to those popular ones. And I always love that diversity. Oddly Chaotic gives a great example. Gigant Spinosaurus, ugly name, but that's a bizarre fossil. Maybe it's a chimera, I don't know, because you're talking about a quadrupedal plant eating dinosaur, but somewhere, maybe from its shoulders or something, you got these like airplane wing like spikes coming out. They're like bent and everything. So, deer is, of course, deer is dangerous too. Udanosratops, that's a bad motherfucker. You're talking about something the size of a bear, perhaps even semi-bipedal, so like a giant psittacosaur. And the skull is just gnarly, gnarly skull crusher. Could have been a predator, as far as I know. Who knows? There used to be this book. Let me show you. Oh, there used to be this book. You can still find it if you're in the US or the UK. It's the famous Illustrated Encyclopedia of Dinosaurs with illustrations by John Sibick. So, most people know this book. It's got all the classic illustrations of all your favorite dinosaurs and some more. But the best thing about this book, and remember, I had this book when I was like a kid. When did this come out? Early 1990s. 1985, not even. So I was like, so there was no internet, no nothing. You did not get information. And I was living in Turkey. So it was extremely difficult to access information about anything. There was nothing on TV, and all the books, like my dear late grandfather bought them from me when he was on trips overseas. He was an architect and an engineer. Anyway, so he brought me this book. My favorite thing, as soon as I figured out how to read, my favorite thing in this book became uh, these sections in which they have species lists for. I'll show you. I love this one. So you got the favorite. You got the carnosaurs, which are these like meat-eating dinosaur things. Okay, so these guys. Behind it are these amazing skeletal diagrams, which were extremely rare. I don't think there's another book before the famous Gregory Paul guides that had this kind of skeletal fidelity. And then here, now this, I love this. They had the species lists. So remember, you don't know anything about dinosaurs except for the 2 or 3 books you have. And then you get this name with unpronounceable things. They're like magic names of demons or dragons. Poekilopuleuron. What could that be? Apatodon. There was a predatory dinosaur fossil. Apatodon. Not Apatosaurus, but Apatodon. I always think it was some like brown, sand colored giant dinosaur with, for some reason, a squarish snout. Chinkankosaurus. Orthogniosaurus. Unbelievable, unbelievable. I would just look at these names, and I spent weeks just looking at these names in these like 2 columns, fantasizing. Those are actually names given to dinosaur fossils, probably like nomen dubia, like very fragmentary remains. Ticosteus, Antrodemus, which is Tyrannosaurus, I believe, and Zapsalis, some like Z-sailed Spinosaur, whatever. And my favorite here is that they had three different spellings for three different wrong publications of Epantherias, which is this Allosaurus like predatory dinosaur that's basically similar to Allosaurus, but like 2 times larger. But to make it even more interesting, in this book, you have Empatherias, you have Epantherias, and you have Epantherias with a TH. Unbelievable. So in my mind, these were like three gods. You know how you have like Hecate, Aphrodite, or Demeter, or like Epantherias, Empatherias, Empatherias, and unbelievable. So it was like a magic formula almost. So this book, you can still find it in second. If you're living in the US, like go to Alibris, which is this amazing website selling second-hand books. You get that there like for cheap, cheap. Okay, I'm instructed by TK Sivgin to go to page 45. Some sort of like horror movie shit. I go page 245 and the text has been rearranged into red rum. Let's see what's page 45. What do we get there? We get the ornithomimosaurs and oviraptor. Slimy egg-eating oviraptor. You can tell that it's been eating eggs because egg slime is coming out of its mouth. And this color pattern, it like really stayed with me for a long time. This artwork is really great, by the way. It's outdated, but supreme artwork. I mean, let's have another podcast where I just give a reading on these dinosaur names, huh? And then let's see. These pages are magnificent. I'm also going to page 51 as instructed by my good friend TK Sivgin. Oh, yes, these ones. So this is the page where they dumped all the miscellaneous theropods, which means they dumped all the weird fossils they could not make sense of. So you get things like Avimimus here with these like bathrobe arm feathers, which serve no purpose and no animal in life has. Then you get this thing, which is a kind of Segnosaur, but the colors are just amazing. They're just pure 1980s. Most fashionable dinosaur. This was Segiosaurus. I'm reading the caption. It's not Segnosaurus. An unusual theropod from Arizona. Unfortunately, the skeleton was found headless, though the remainder was reasonably well preserved. Quite lightly built, active runner. The teeth are not preserved, so we cannot be certain of its diet. So it's just an excuse for them to come up with this amazing, colorful creation. And then, of course, you have a Segnosaur, which is this thing. Like amazing patterns there. So yeah. It's just one book in this goddamn Indiana Jones library I have cultivated back here. And this is not even half of it. It goes here, then it wraps around the house. And there, and there's also one more room full of these books, but my wife's working there now. So you just have to imagine, I guess. How many books are there? Probably close to 3,000. All right. Arms like this. You fly around. Just putting this back. Fernando Katekaix asks, do carnivores ornithischians exist? Almost certainly. I mean, we talked about Udanoceratops. I'll be goddamned if some of those things did not eat more meat than plants. Yes, this is that bookshelf from my previous videos. Want a cup of tea, mate? Yeah, I want a cup of tea, mate. Oh, hello, Lord Grunwalder is here. My good friend from Turkey. I met him in real life. Real cool guy, really talented too. Please do a video. Oh, I would actually like to show more of these, but then I think that's the Turkish sensibility in me that I always I don't like flexing too much because I'm afraid maybe there's someone out there who can't afford these things, or I might get the evil eye. I'm superstitious like that. So I mean, also there are many things that I'm lucky, like, but I don't like flexing about them too much. But now I went the whole length to do this spontaneous stream, and of course you get to see the books. And but I don't like these, like, there are a lot of these people in YouTube, like they collect something. It could be makeup, could be books, art supplies, and they, "Here, I got this, I got that, I got this and this." Get fucked. I mean, that's just what's the answer to Stormer's riddle? Stormer's riddle. It sounds like the location of the final missing Holocaust camp in Antarctica, but no, it's actually a paleontological enigma. Basically, there's a fossil formation in Cretaceous Morocco, famous for Spinosaurus, the giant crocodile mimicking theropod. But there are also many other predators there. So apparently, there was a kind of selective bias for that region. So there's a lot of predators from that place. Also, a lot of big honking chunking fish. So, like, the riddle is, why are there so many predators and not as many animals for them to eat? Was it like some bizarre predatory death fest where predator ate predator? Like, who knows? I mean, once more, maybe there's a selective bias. I mean, if you probably go to the La Brea tar pits in California, you got like thousands of fossils of saber-toothed tigers, wolves, and stuff because they all came there trying to eat the animals that were trapped in the quicksand or the tar pits. So that's a selective bias. So maybe something like that was going on with the with Stormer's riddle. Absent Fish asks, where would you recommend to go in Turkey to see some cool ruins and nature? I mean, basically every part of the country is great, but I really recommend the Phrygian Valley near Eskişehir. That's like the fifth largest city in Turkey. It's also a university town, so it's like a really vibrant, nice kind of place, laid back and affordable, and full of young, intelligent people. And also, you go to Eskişehir, you hire a car, and you drive to the Phrygian Valley. You drive to this place called Yazılıkaya, which has these amazing ruins built into equally amazing stone formations. And also, it's like prime untouched meadowland. So you go out among these ruins, especially if you go out in spring, you see lots of giant insects, giant bugs, reptiles, snakes. It's just wonderful, wonderful. Lord Grunwalder also invites you all to Manisa, which is also true. It's full of amazing ruins from basically dating from the antiquity. Any city you go to Turkey, there's a pro tip. You should go to the archaeology museum. Every city, even the smaller ones, have archaeology museums. And even the smaller ones could give like the British Museum or even the Louvre a run for their money. Fernando Katekaiks asks, how come we don't have biomechanical structures in real life? Like a house made up of flesh and bone or a creature we could live in? Actually, we had that until the Industrial Revolution. All those wooden houses, I mean, okay, they were not alive, so they weren't going like, you couldn't get into them physically like flesh house, but still, it was made out of living structures. They were humanely proportioned. They were, of course, right angles and stuff, but they were like built to live in, like very smooth. And also, one of my favorite books is, okay, I'll show you that book too. Wait. Where is it? Where is it? Huh. So it's this book called Architecture Without Architects. It's actually quite rare. I found it in a second-hand bookshop. It shows all the beautiful and fantastic buildings, which I might call organic structures because, well, because they were built without recourse to machines or extremely heavy logic. I mean, it's full of pictures like this one. This is from the Greek islands, and you see like it's almost like a coral reef in that there are individual decisions, and the whole structure is formed through basically an absence of the ability to do everything. Because if you get to do everything, if you can do everything, you do the most efficient structures, and those always turn out ugly and soulless. Or it's full of these like extremely interesting wooden structures from New Guinea. Whoop. Basically, it's like a biomorphic architecture, even if it's not organic. So, yeah, I'm stretching the definitions a bit, but we had this kind of thing. In then machines came over and things changed. What? We got lots of comments. Sorry, I'm just doing a quick read. Wasn't there a frog as big as a cat? Yes, there was. Sorry, no all tomorrow's questions. All tomorrow's. I just spent half of this day writing all tomorrows, and I've reached the part where the Kuhanim or the Ku take over the galaxy, and we're at 200 pages. So there's a discussion going on about organic technology, biotechnology, food getting improved faster, tents getting repaired by spiders. I mean, we already have this technologies, but they look more mundane, but they're fascinating. Like silk, for example. We evolved this entire species of blind, flightless moths, and they live nowhere else. You know how silk farming works. There's boxes full of moths, all these chunkies and gimbis, and you give them. My wife used to keep silkworms when she was younger, and she talks about the sound they make because you have to give them mulberry leaves, and boy, those fuckers eat a lot. So when you're sleeping in the living room, there's the box with the silkworms in it, and you're sleeping, and then from the living room, there's this quiet sound. So those gimbis, another nice thing in well, they cultivate them all over the world, but in Turkey, they used to have the ceremony to breed the silkworms, and it was called the silkworm wedding. And they would collect all the like fat silkworm moths on a tray, and they would just fuck. But sometimes, because maybe for ceremonial reasons or just maybe to have fun, it would be a silver tray, and you would plop all the fat moths there. These moths cannot fly. They have wings, but they cannot really fly. So they're fucking. And that's biomorphic technology. So you like how that silk and weave it and wear it. I think the kind of biotechnologies we imagine in science fiction, they're actually, like, if you think about them, they're more crude. They're like Flintstones kind of biotech. In real life, we have like, we harvest bee vomit for honey. I mean, it's more direct and more intuitive. A question, maybe a baited one, but I'm just going to rise up to it, hook, line, and sinker. Do you think we evolved from apes or something else? Okay, if you believe in creation, you're actually welcome here. I am an evolution understander, but I'm not didactic about this. If religion has that heavy a role in life for you, okay, I don't mind. It's obvious, like, ancestors with lots of apes, and if that animal was alive today, we would also call it an ape. But this is just so like 2003. Human evolution has been proven, and the internet atheists think they have the world on a platter. Soon, the internet will make, they think, religion obsolete, because everyone will understand evolution. Where will all those mega churches, all the mosques or the synagogues go? Of course, never gonna go out of style. Yeah, we wear leather. That's ultimate biotech right there. All right. In 1 hour, everyone. It's been really fun, but let's take some last questions. Last questions, last questions. And no all tomorrow's questions, please. I just signed an NDA. I didn't. I'm just not answering them. Okay, continuing the biotech discussion, and this is actually really interesting. So maybe if the world did not have heavy metals, then we could see lots more uses for domesticated animals, muscle power. What would I do if I saw a desert rain frog? I would take that frog. I'll show you. Back first. So I'm standing around here, and like suddenly there's a frog, and I was like, "Oh, the fuck, is that a frog or something?" And I'll take the rain frog. I'll say, "You good." And then I'll just study it. I don't know, take its pictures or something. I wouldn't want to touch it too much. It's not a rain frog. It's a stupid big poison arrow frog rubber toy. Monospondylus asks the best question. Best question. What's your favorite outdated dinosaur concept idea? It is, without a shadow of a doubt, it is Kairostenotes from the 1990s. I'll show you. Where is it? It's here. Okay, so in the 1990s, before oviraptorosaurs were understood to be these like giant parrot chicken like creatures, a lot of fossils kept turning up, and there was one particular species which they thought was kind of like an intermediate form between the small Compsognathus like things and the oviraptor like things, and it was called Cyrostenotes, which was this thing. I mean, when I was younger, when I was a kid, this particular book, I borrowed it like Every weekend, I borrowed it from my high school library. Every weekend, I looked at these pictures. This is called the Encyclopedia of Dinosaurs. In the US, it's also known as the Dinosaur Data Book. So this concept is my favorite outdated. Like, I wanted to be that creature. I felt like it. I walked around like it. It was my spirit depicted in illustration form. Unbelievable. The hands, the intelligent looking eyes, the weird face that's unlike anything you see in these like boring vanilla dinosaurs. It was like a view from God. God Himself was made incarnate in this ink drawing, and it just it left such an impression on me. Amphibians absorb through their skin, so don't want to touch them. So yeah, don't touch too much. Yes, true. I'm gonna get a desert rain frog on Halloween. Take good care of that frog, man. All right, YouTube Joseph. Goodbye, Joseph. Do you like perfectly cut screams memes? I don't know what that is. Really nice. I really love these discussions here. All right. TK Sivgin's favorite outdated concept are the lanky, featherless ornithomimosaurs. I think there's a picture of those here as well. Let's finish with that picture. This is the tail dragging, swan like reptile ornithomimosaurs. Look how beautifully the scene is drawn. And the plants, 90% of good paleo art is plant art. All right, everyone. This has been a really nice podcast. I don't want to leave either, but the week is about to begin, and my ghetto cooling system is kind of giving way. Yes, that picture was by Gerard Heilmann, who was actually like remarkably ahead of his time. And thank you all for being here. There's 34 people, 33 people here. That's a great number. Like, if you have 33 people in a room, that would be like a legit event. You could take pictures, make press releases. Now, all these streams are measured in hundreds and thousands, but for me, it's always quality over quantity. Though I wouldn't mind quantity either, but I'm really happy with this little community we have cultivated. So, thank you all for your time. And have a nice week tomorrow. Monday is beginning. Whether you're going to school or going to work or looking for work, or I don't know, just chilling around. Have a nice week. All right, everyone. I'm just going to put this book back, do a little song routine, and call it a night. Okay, see you. Goodbye, everyone. Ciao.